right, everybody, we're coming back from the break. It's called the Business to Business Network Show. My name is Rex Perry. For over 20 years now, we've been doing a 1-hour business show, and we talk business, politics, and economics, and we have two very sharp ASU students. Jack, give us your last name. Introduce yourself, please.
Jack Hinrichs. I am a student at Arizona State University and a vice president of the Politics and Leadership Club.
Audra?
Audra Ward, and I am also a student of Arizona State University that is a member of this Politics and Leadership Club.
I didn't even ask you this. Give us a background. Where did you go to high school, Jack? Where are you from?
I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, originally. I went to Washington High School, if anybody's a big fan of Washington High School football. Washington High School has actually won more state football championships than any other high school in the United States of America. And I came down to ASU 3 years ago, and I just love it. It doesn't snow here, and I'm a big fan of that.
And Audra, where are you from?
I'm actually from Arizona. I went to Corona del Sol High.
I had some nephews went there
really?
for years ago.
Awesome.
I love
definitely
Corona.
Not known for our football, but it's great. I had a great time there. I think that there's a lot of opportunity there, and it's great because, ASU is only 20 minutes away, and so I feel like there's a lot of great connections and foundation there for me.
Fantastic. And we've been talking about digital voting, a new voatz.com, votes.com, and it's a concept of getting facial recognition, photo ID, getting people registered digitally, cross-collateralize the database with the voting records, which everybody take a deep breath, they're public records, and they can identify if you're in District 1, Arizona. They're going to have your address because guess what? To vote in District 1, you have to have a house. You have to be living. Everybody take a deep breath here. This is public record. A lot of people don't know this. Guess what? There's a county recorder's office, and they've got titles out there, and they know if you pay your property taxes. It's actually public record. So the point is, take a deep breath. We can do digital registration, straw polling. Right now it's straw polling, meaning we can come up with different issues and get a feedback on this. Now let's talk a little bit of a hot button issue, abortion. It's very sensitive, very difficult, but we can't get anywhere because we can't get enough people to coalesce around an idea. Your thoughts on legislation, your thoughts on solutions?
Yeah, I think that having a digital poll, as you say, to discuss abortion would be good at getting through some of that animosity, because so often when you have these in-person, or even worse, you get into an online comment section discussion of abortion.
Facebook.
Yeah. Right. And so it just falls into, because people's emotions are at such a high pitch, it gets into such an emotionally tinged space that you can't end up having a policy discussion. If you have these polls, then that allows to cut through some of that emotion and get some of those statistics that can help us make policies. And so while those emotions are a good thing, and while it's a good thing to care deeply about politics, it cannot be something that stops us from having policy, because at the end of the day, we've got to make policy about these issues. That's what politics is all about. And so in order to make that policy, if we've got something that can cut through some of that emotion and get us some evidence about where people stand and what they believe, that's a positive force for democracy, in my opinion.
Yeah, your thoughts?
I would agree. I think that abortion is a very hot topic because it is a very sensitive issue for a lot of people. It changes people's lifestyles, and it's very personal. But at the same time, there's got to be a line somewhere. It's going to have to be decided eventually. And I think that this policy poll straw that this digitalized voting is suggesting could happen, I think would open a lot of the policymakers' eyes to people's opinions on it. And I think that there should be a comment section, if there is, where people can address these issues and have their own personal stories, maybe, and their own personal thoughts that are actually heard by these legislators, instead of it being so white and black. Because I think that there's so many stories and personal opinions out there that should be heard and, have. Yeah.
When they say it's so complicated, it's because there's millions of people out there, and everybody's got their own situation, their own, and it's hard to create these boxes.
Exactly.
And so you have to have flexibility on that.
Yeah, and if I could jump on Audra's point for just a moment, I love this idea of having a comment section where you can write what you really believe and what you really think, because we take the ideal of free speech very seriously in this country. But so often your ability to get your speech in front of an elected official is predicated on how much money you have, how much influence, how much airtime, how much you can donate to a campaign.
Right.
And so if we have a digital democracy system where you're able to type your thoughts into the comment section and then that's sent directly to your elected official, that bypasses the money, that bypasses the access that you have to buy. And so it would democratize free speech. And I think that that's a great idea you've come up with, Audra.
And here's the point too, is you could have other people reading your comment, and giving you the thumbs up. In other words, there's a whole bunch of people in District 1, Arizona. I keep saying District 1, and I think that's David Schweikert's, but he's not running again. But the point is, you have all of these voters that are registered, and now you've got backing and support for that congressional person to be able to go into the fire of the Congress. And by the way, if we could spread this through all 50 states, then you've got a whole group of people that are saying, here's what my constituents are really saying. Because they always talk about representing their constituents. But I have Andy Biggs, who's been my congressional representative for the last 20 years, and he's never called me back, never replied to my email, never responded, not even anybody on his staff. And I have called once a week for years to try to get him to shift a little bit. He's very non-responsive. And by the way, he's running for governor. So I'm going to put it out there. Go ahead. Did you have something?
Yeah, no, I just want to say I think, that perfectly highlights how there's an issue and there's this disconnect between the legislators and your representatives and the actual people they're representing. And I think that this is a great direct connection to this people so they can go through and act. And if they care, I mean, it's great. It's right there.
Yeah. And I was saying off air too, we could actually set up some sort of licensed, bonded, insured registration representatives for the Secretary of State to be able to go into ASU campus. They could have an iPad. People register right there. It's a voter registration system where they're getting registered digitally. We start off with a straw poll, but we can then evolve into a virtual. We do mail-in ballots now. And if you do a digital, you can actually do a very accurate survey to make sure that the voting is accurate. Right now with the mail-ins, you have to sign your name and then put your phone number on the outside of an envelope. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but the reason they have your phone number is they're doing random survey calls. A lot of people don't know that. So they do a random survey to see how, and you know statistics. We've all, you guys taken the statistics, right?
Yes.
So and so theoretically you can digitally, you can have even a more accurate audit of what things going on there. Now, we only got a couple sections left. Again, where do you guys meet? What time?
It is at 4:30 on Monday afternoons on the ASU Tempe campus. We're in the Social Sciences building. Just look up where the Social Science building is on Google. You'll be able to find it. We've got free food. It's fantastic. And we would love to have you come and chat with you before or after the meeting and listen to some young people who are really committed to civic discourse and civil dialogue and political change in this nation.
And remember, you have to be an ASU student to comment. Now I know the rule. And Audra, what else would you like to wrap up? Well, you like the club.
I mean, I hope to see you guys there. I think that listeners tell me all the time that these ASU students who are so dedicated bring them hope. And so I'd love for you to come listen.
Fantastic. Well, guys, we're going to get the word out at voatz.com and also digitaldemocracyproject.org. That's based out of Florida. They're all working together. But we want to spread this to all 50 states, and we appreciate what you guys are doing. We got music coming up. Say it's time for a break. Again, my name is Rex Perry. Our website is 123bz.com. 123bz.com. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back.
Okay.
Let's see. Our engineer's gonna look at our camera setup. I think you might need to move to your left just a little bit.
Okay.
Let me get this back up here. And let's see. So we're gonna kind of, we got 14 minutes, 50 seconds, so it's a lot of time.
Okay.
So we can talk about the market. We can talk about interest rates. We can hear some stories of maybe some of the buyers or sellers that you worked with.